Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Chandler and I'm doing a presentation on Sandy Skoglund. Sandy is a conceptual artist specializing in photography, sculpting, and installation. Her university studies mainly focused on printmaking, art history, filmmaking, and multimedia art. One of Sandy's purposes for creating her surrealistic designs was to bring awareness to the odd reality of our world and how we can cope with it. In her own words, she says, "Is this not the life that surrounds us? This is the human condition. In the moment of birth, reality is a shock. It is a new place full of anxiety and fear. The aim of art is to reduce that fear." One of her series, titled True Fiction 2, represents this phenomenon of mixing reality with a pop of surrealism. Using pigmented inkjet technology, Sandy created these interesting compositions that are popping with color. One of my favorites is titled Red Flower, and in this piece I enjoy all the lines that lead us to different areas of the composition, such as the top of the door frame down into her fingers. Then the slight tilt of her fingers lead us to the chair in the left corner, and so on throughout the rest of the piece. The color choice is wonderful, as well as it offers a split complementary color scheme with yellows, yellow-greens, blue-greens, and red. I find it interesting how she has combined forms that appear to be 2D with combined with 3D forms. One example of that is the girl in the corner being more flat, and then the cabinets in the back appearing to be more 3D. In a short interview with Sandy Skoglund, she shares more details on why she uses human models in her photos. She states that her interest lies in how we humans see and conceive space. Her models add depth and narrative to the composition, and I think she's made a wise choice to use human elements in her surreal characters. Sandy uses the intrusion of nature into daily life. Many of her pieces include sculptures that she has crafted and painted herself, and as you can see, some of her popular designs include some type of rogue animal, whether it be squirrel, cat, dog, whatever. One of my favorite installations I've seen of hers is called Revenge of the Goldfish. Sandy intended for this piece to be almost like a dream scene. Several components of this piece are designed to seem surreal and out of this world. The colors complement each other with the blues and orange, but are more vibrant than anything we'd see in a normal bedroom. And then to top it off, there are bright goldfish floating around the ceiling and the floor. In the design's description, it states that the design creates tension in an ambiguous narrative that is once playful and disturbing. I love how she has used value to create fish that are dark and light to add a bit of depth and interest to the area. I also love how Sandy has designed some of the fish to appear to be moving, while other appears to have no life in them at all, just resting on the ground. It adds an eerie but playful feel to the design. Sandy spends several months curating and perfecting her designs. Her sculptures alone take her weeks to fabricate and paint. Some of her other designs include random objects such as coat hangers, raisins, and chewed gum, which is gross, I think. But I'm impressed that she patiently sets everything up to perfection, even down to placing dozens of glass shards in coat hangers. And here are a few examples of her using common objects to create something out of the box in her installations. I've noticed with these materials that she steps away from doing pieces with a split complementary or complementary color scheme, and she tends to use all of one color with different tones, tints, and shades. One of the pieces that I like the most, however, does not, or does have a bit of a complementary color scheme. And this piece is called A Breeze at Work. I think the leaves that she created are so beautiful. There's something about the blue that really draws my eye in, especially when it's resting against the purpley red, or it kind of looks brown in this too. This image is a lot more busy as far as shapes go. She's used a lot of skinny forms with branches extending across the rooms, and she has thick geometric shapes such as the desk, and then she has more flat and organic shapes with the leaves. And I love how she's included the branches in the design for our eyes to be drawn to each section of the picture. The big branch in the middle of the photograph especially helps with the movement of the piece, drawing our eyes to the corner, to the other leaves in the room, and then to the people. Without it, it would be easy to focus on the blue leaves in the foreground instead of everything that is happening in the background and adding to the composition. I also like the use of negative space in the back of the picture by the desk and the man that is standing back there. It adds depth to the composition and makes everything appear to be less flat. She's also tactfully designed the set using lighting that allows for the leaves and branches to cast interesting shadows in the room. One that I really like is it almost looks like a reflection of the blue onto the red as a shadow from one of the leaves. Overall, I think Sandy Skoglund is a brilliant artist. I admire her patience, the knowledge of principles and elements of design, and the results of her ideas. I'm not sure if I'll ever do sculptures like she does, but I would love to use some of her ideas in my work. I'd love to try out some ideas in Photoshop and Illustrator, mostly with the use of color. And I just want to try to be more creative with vibrant color schemes. And then here are my references for Sandy Skoglund's life and her art. Thanks.